The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, much has been made about the level of flooding in the Bahamas, here in the capital and elsewhere. The community of Pinewood, for example, feels it by the slightest amount of rain. Well, good news. The Ministry of Works is looking at bringing a solution to the community. Also tonight, the DNA back? That's right, you heard me correctly. So is it the same leadership? Is it new leadership? We take a look tonight and also add some speculation about what you are saying out there. And later, judging at this year's Junkanoo Parade might look different. Not that any of us looking from the outside would know the difference, but nonetheless, I'll tell you more about that. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. We begin this tonight, the show with, of course, just recalling the highlights of Vaughn Miller's career. You all know that Vaughn was the immediate Minister of the Environment and Natural Resources and Member of Parliament for Golden Isles. And tonight, one of his colleagues who kind of grew up professionally with him and has known him for decades, Picewell Forbes, the executive chairman at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, joins me to recall the man he grew to love as a brother and certainly as a very, very good friend. Good evening to you, Picewell. It's great to have you here. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Good seeing you.
It's a pleasure to be here this evening on this sad occasion, but one that we must this evening celebrate in our own way.
Yeah, absolutely. And how are you remembering him? I mean, what are some of the fondest memories that you choose to kind of hold on to right now?
I want to segment it for a few minutes because I have to think about him as a friend and a co-worker and also as a colleague. First, as a co-worker, we both joined the corporation in the early 80s. I just out of the College of the Bahamas, Vaughn Miller returning from the U.S., and there was Brother Whitfield Hutchison coming in also on the old 1240. I was in between production and programming. Vaughn Miller, in his own way, they were the days of reel-to-reel tape, cart machines, and DAT tapes, and also the old beta tape, the list goes on. Now we're in the 21st century in broadcasting. These are days of records, of course. And Vaughn Miller had a certain edge about himself. I think he and I were a little edgy in that because of his training at that time coming out of New York. The Black Panther movement, the list goes on, the Marcus Mosiah Garvey kind of thing.
Very
was in
much
his
into
mind.
that, yeah.
And playing a little bit of the Martin Luther King. And he turned me on to If I Had Sneezed. All we used to play back in the day was I Had the Dream. And so therefore, he had that edge. And at that time, we had to warn him a few times, I look, man, this is not gospel, this is something different. But you know, Vaughn Miller, he tested the envelope, he locked the door a couple times and slammed it back in the day. And they were the days of Anthony Foster and Cindy Williams. And you know, radio was really regimented in those days. And we stood the test. But to move things along quickly, you saw the different spheres of his life when he got involved in trade unionism with the Shane Gibson, myself and others, Darren Meadows in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Charlie, Miss Jerry was his main support in ZNS, you know, Miss Jerry was his go-to person. And he led that charge along with the late Bob Thompson and others. And solidarity forever, the union makes us strong, singing around the yard. No one could slap those big hands like a Vaughn Miller. And many you would never want to slap.
They were the days when you all took trade unionism so seriously because you all never played at ZNS those days.
That. You say strike is strike. The only department we couldn't get the strike in ZNS in those days was the news department, you guys.
News.
Obi Bilscombe, whoever was in news, just had you all tied down. And we used to get mad with news.
I wasn't there then, but the news...
You heard the story about it.
Yeah, sorry. No, but the news has not changed its colors either.
And you couldn't get the news department to strike. Everyone else, whenever the union, the money came out, news got theirs first. And that was a big issue with all of me in the morning and those, you know, what's for the news got their pay first. But the reality is that he grew as an individual and quickly moving along in the political arena as our lives would have evolved. I decided after just about 25 years in the corporation to move on to the political arena. I was supposed to run the first time like Shane Gibson did in 2002. I ran in 2007. The PLP lost at that time. And I continued to be in contact with the Vaughn, the late Nick Hepburn. They're all gone now. Bill Bain and Wycliffe Miller, Gordon Lowe, all of my friends who were there. And consider the fact now this evening that me and Brother Hutchin, those are the older ones now. And Charles Carter, Kelsey Johnson, they're all gone on to meet their reward. Ed Bethel, the list goes on, His Excellency. And so we talked about it. He wanted to represent South Eleuthera, me, South Andros, both hometown boys. And we connected. There's a lot of synergy there. I got in, PLP lost, 2012, we won. He was thinking about it. He got in 2017. Of course, there's only 4 of us won our seats at that time. And they were all sitting around us. But he formed a unique bond in that myself, Vaughn Miller, Ricky Markey, who was at that time in North Eleuthera, the young man, Reuben Ramming in Pinewood. It was Mr. Folks out there in Golden House at that time, Golden Gate, sorry. It was a couple of us who formed a certain energy. I can't forget my good friend Reverend Michael Pine in Grand Bahama. We kind of coalesced in the late Don Saunders. We all had the same fight. We wanted the best for our people. And Vaughn Miller was there. But nothing evoked his spirit more than talking about making the wealth of the Bahamas common to the everyday man. He never showed no level of selfishness. Solipsism was not a part of his makeup. He wanted to give the very best that he had. Up to just a few days before he would have passed, I went to his office about 2 weeks ago, and I sat with him. He didn't look too strong, looked a bit lethargic. And I said, how are you, man? He said, Forbes, I'm fighting. Came in the boardroom at his ministry at the Charlotte House. And he said, the pain is really bad on my right side. I said, it's not. I said, it's away from your heart. How you feeling? He said, I'm okay. But I didn't go to Addis Ababa in Africa because I can't be on a plane longer than an hour. But he said, they don't know where the pain, what is happening is all through my body, and it's really bothering me. He said, I've made a decision to step away. So unlike you, I'm telling you, you didn't tell me. He said, I held that against me. You know, when I decided to walk away from front line. And he said, what bothered me, and he started to put his hand on his chin. He said, I went home last weekend, and my son didn't seem to recognize me. And that kind of really broke him. He said, I've done my part, I've tried. I wanted to do South Eleuthera. That isn't going to happen, but I'll have to serve in a different capacity. He said, man, we'll have many more good days together. And he said, what I have to do now, there are some contracts that must be given to some people I must help before I leave the political arena. But I'm going to call Leslie Miller right now to go down and see the Prime Minister. Leslie Miller was Vaughn Miller's protector and warrior.
Right, yes, almost right-hand man, sort of.
It was his right-hand man. He believed in Leslie O. Miller. Whatever he wanted to get done, he called me first. We talked about it. He'll call Chester Cooper here and there. But he believed the man to walk him down to see the Honorable Philip Brave Davis Prime Minister was Leslie O. Miller. And Leslie believed in him. Vaughn Miller was a prince, in my view. He was a decent son of the soil, a patriot. And I saw that side of him when we had the discussion about the mining industry back in, when he was first elected in, I think, 2017, 2018. And at that time, I think they were just recently fired as parliamentary secretary, some 6 of them. He, Michael Pine, Reese Shipman, the list goes on. And there was some energy discussion that came up. And he and the former member for St. Anne's, the Honorable Brent Simmons, had some fracas across the floor. And it went into this repartee kind of thing. And there was the late Vaughn Miller, size 18 hands. He slammed those hands on the desk. The entire house, everybody kind of freaked out. Because you know Vaughn Miller could get in a rage like that. Afterwards, he was somewhat apologetic about it. He said, but he felt really strongly about it. He wanted to see more of a disbursement and equalization of the access to this funding and what have you in the society. And he didn't want to see the same old people getting it. That was his view. And I told him, I said, you have to change some of these views sometimes. He and I had a little differing of opinion on that. But he was most excited about recent developments with the fly fishing industry. That was led, the legislation led by the Honorable B. Alfred Gray. We combined on that with Mr. Prescott Smith and others, and the people of Andros and all the Sean Leadon and the other guys down there. and the entire crew, everyone felt gratified by these developments. It led to more empowerment of the bone fishing guides and also those who would have acquired the various facilities over the years. So I think if there was one area I think that Vaughn Miller would have been challenged by, as I leave, would be that of proposed legislation for the mining industry and climate change generally. I told him, I said, you for many years raised Keane on radio and in the parliament. I think, I don't know how to say it's any different. I think sometimes he was hamstrung by some things. I think in his head, in his mind, he was insecure and felt maybe if he go ahead, it might cost him. I think he wanted to reach the 8-year mark. He didn't come out and say it, but I kind of sensed some trepidation. I don't know if he felt he had the full support of the entire cabinet on some issues. And I told him, I said, man, look here. You and the PS get together. Get some consultants to work with you and propose some things and start working and talk with the policy advisors and the office of the Prime Minister. But you've got to be proactive.
Yeah.
He said, Forbes, boy, it ain't like that. And I tried to fight with it. I said, man, look here. You fought this thing when you were on the air. It cost you to be called to the boardroom at ZNS and in front of Kelsey Johnson and everyone else. You almost got fired for fighting for the wealth and the common man, this and that, and the union and all, the church and everything you preached about. He said, Forbes, you don't know, man. I said, I know. I've been there. So I said, but you have to make your mark by proposing legislation, taking it and doing your best, and sometimes you got to find a way to expose it. I don't want to tell him to be scrupulous, but I mean, you have to do these things. Yes. And he and I left on that note, and he walked me out front. And I got the call the other morning that he had passed. I'll miss him, like Obie Wilscombe. These are the ones who are really closest to me. And I spoke with his wife moments ago, Cassandra. Their son took it really hard. He's 5 years old. They're holding. We at the Broadcasting Corporation are going to have a big old-time wake. Not no repast in Nassau, but Cassandra, what they, what these people in Nassau are used to. We having an old-time family island week. We get some chicken and some pig feet and all kind of sauce, and we're going to come in ZNS yard and get them old church hymnal. And we're going to invite everyone to come. We're going to carry it live on ZNS radio, the full 50,000 watts with the yard full of people, and some TV and some social media platforms. And the whole thing, we're going to celebrate the Honorable Vaughn P. Miller, a decent son, a prince. I think we speak of the Bible, we look at 2 Samuel, somewhere, chapter 3, I think it is, where we use a reference in the Bible. So a prince has fallen, a decent young man, one who lived for God, one whose moral compass was set and sound, one who's deliberate, who was steady and focused, and we've lost the gem. My brother, we'll miss you. I know the other boys, the Obie and Kelsey and others are there, Ed. And we say farewell on behalf of the Broadcasting Corporation and the family. We want you to rest in peace. And may Father Abraham welcome you into his bosom and you rest in peace. But on that final day, when we all would meet our Maker, you rise in glory.
Executive Chairman of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, Picewell Forbes, just sharing some fond recollections of Vaughn Miller. You have to tell the people, you all better announce that over there when you all plan on this come one and all. What you call it? Wake?
Real old time wake. None of these repasts you all having announced on. Now we're having a real wake in the yard where we have sauce and we can have Johnny cake and real old time stuff in the yard. We can sing all night and we can have some old. When I started to sing, I could beat him, but this is where you take the break. He could start a song on a higher note than I would have. But he wouldn't know the words of songs. I beat him up, beat him.
Yeah.
You got that. And he had them big hands.
Yes.
He never knew the words of songs. So
yes. So
I'll miss you, my boy.
Yeah, you had it like that. Listen, Picewell, I'll tell you this next segment we're going to get into the vitriol on social media. I know you all, not just now, this weekend or the last 48 or so, 72 hours, but just really even in this political season, why are we weaponizing social media and using it against people to bring such hatred and ugliness and disdain? We get into that discussion here on Beyond the Headlines right after this break.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Hey, it's Spa Week. We got what you need. Sit back, relax, and come in for a treat. We just wanna make you smile. We will go the extra mile at Baja Retreat Spa.
Come visit us at Baja Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.bajaretreat.com.
Sting Junkanoo Group is celebrating 25 years of music, and you're invited to the greatest show ever. Counting down the years, performing hit song after hit song. Stevie S, Colin McDonald, KB, Dyson Knight, and D-Mac. Saturday, November 1st at the Farm Marshall Road, 8 p.m. until. Tickets can be purchased online at www.bahamaseattickets.com for your skybox or to be a food vendor. Call 424-6433, 477-0191. Sponsored by ZNS, Island Luck TV, The Farm, Gatorade Today & Co. Limited, Krista Minute, and Associates.
Ever feel like you're missing your own life because you're constantly running off to the bathroom? Do bladder leaks or pelvic discomfort have you up at night and affect your confidence in everyday life? Those days are over. At Frequency Vitality Center, we offer a solution. Completely painless, fully clothed with no downtime. Perfect for men and women of any age, we help strengthen the pelvic floor muscles while you sit comfortably, improving bladder control, decreasing night waking, and much more. Strengthen your foundation and restore your confidence.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a Dave's single or chicken sandwich with a junior fries and 16-ounce beverage for just $6.95. Why choose less from the other guys when you can get more? At Wendy's, we're providing bigger bites and better deals. So purchase your Tings Tough Value Meal today. Now available at all locations excluding the airport and food truck.
When you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, 'cause your perfume isn't loud, and only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good. You feel like velvet rubbing over my skin, and when you're
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. 1 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Moving right along, and we're going to get into some hot topics, but we're going to begin hot topics really with exactly how the Bahamas has embraced, or rather used, social media as a weapon. Oftentimes it's ugly, it is shocking and unnecessary. Yes. You've seen that played out even in the last few days with the topic we just, the individual we just discussed in the first segment, but so many others attacked mercilessly just because you can do it. Just because you can either start a live stream or post a video or put some words on a page and put it there without regard for that individual, their family, or whether or not it's even the truth. And so this evening we're going to get into that, particularly as we really begin to make treks and towards the political season. It's really becoming more and more frequent. We're going to get into that discussion right now because my panelists, for example, just feel so passionate about this and they have so much to say about it. It's something that any person, sometimes you take pleasure in seeing another person pulled down until that harsh light is shone on you. For example, just last week, I defended myself and my support and ongoing lobbying for Grand Bahama when someone thought that I was irresponsible and that I was unprofessional and the fact that I lied on Grand Bahama, only to have, about 2 days later, have independent people, independent to me, and their political persuasion widely known, went further than that and say how Grand Bahama has turned around. And it's just one thing after the next, and why we do it, it's anyone's guess. Well, we're going to get into that this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors, Peggy Candace, Ellington Ferguson, and Howard Johnson. Good evening to both of you, to all of you rather. It's good to have you all here. I know this is a topic each of you pay attention to, you're angered by, and you have a lot to say about.
Good evening, Shanique. Thank you for having me.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. Certainly it's a pleasure to be here once again.
Unmute, Howard.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great.
Good evening to you and good evening to the Bahamas.
Good evening. Let's just jump right in. Let's not see a picture be taken.
Shanique, this is a most unfortunate situation that I've been observing for some time. And being in a number of social media groups, and you see the level of conversation, the vitriol and the anger that people are being spewed at each other. You see people threatening each other. Whenever I see you, I'm going to do this to you, just because of simply the exchange of political views and ideas that somebody does not support or that someone does not agree with. And it has become so sour to watch how people go after people because you don't like which political party they support, or you don't like some of the things that you think they are doing or not doing. To see the level of hatred and malice that is put out at people to destroy people, to destroy their families and bring their families and whatever issue they might have into the public sphere, I think is unfortunate. Nothing is done to try to help somebody, or if you see somebody that is doing something or in problems, for you to talk to them. No, that's not the kind of thing. It's all about tearing somebody down to try to make them into nothing in our society.
And just to score points, based on nothing. I mean,
score points, get likes, and become popular.
Likes and shares. Justin, if you have that photograph that went viral over the weekend, the one with the wedding, because we were supposed to use it last night and didn't get to it. Whenever you have it, if you could put your finger on it, pull it up. But Ellington, you opened this discussion by saying we tend to kind of point weapons at each other. And the weapon is social media at each other because of political differences. Meanwhile, you all saw that photograph at the weekend. There was a wedding. reportedly the wedding of former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram's daughter, and everyone was there outside of former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, who himself was at a family event in Florida for the last week and a half. And so therefore, that's why he wasn't there. I don't know if he was invited, but the point is he had a family event for the last week plus. He's been in Florida with his family having their event. But the thing is, these men come together. There it is right there. Justin, you are king of the pack. There it is right there. You see in that photograph, let's start from the left. Dr. Dwayne Sands, Michael Pintard, Prime Minister Davis, former Prime Minister Ingram, former Prime Minister Christie, Tommy Turnquest, and Michael Barnett. You all see that right there. Yeah. When these men must come together, they do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But you know, Shanique, all accomplished, influential, rich Bahamian men, and it appears that it's the poor that try to cannibalize each other if they think one of them is accelerating in their field. I mean, it is cowards. I call them online when I'm attacked because they have fictitious names, they have no pictures to their profiles, and they have the strength of the courage to attack you. They can't come to you one-on-one, face-to-face. And I've been in groups where I've been lied on, man. I've been called anything but God's child. It got so bad at one point that I reached out to politicians. I said, can't you all discourage this? Yes. Because I know this is a business for some cowardly politicians who hire these character assassins to come after someone of strength or popularity or someone who's impactful. I know this because I've been subject to many attacks. And as a woman, to see other women engage in this assault on your character to demean you, to diminish you, if you allow it. And so I know the strength behind this is cowards. I call them that every time.
There is no strength.
The cowards who hide behind these political assassins, and the political assassin who hide in other countries, who can say any manner, and because they lack accountability, they use the word allegedly,
and
then they put any filth behind that word allegedly. And I reached out to politicians. I said, you guys can stop this.
And the thing is, knowing when, Peggy, Ellington, Howard, once you've put it out there, you could see it, you say allegedly, but once you've put it out there, you know that sticks. And then that goes and it's destructive. It is destructive and it creates all kind of mayhem.
Shanique, if I could just jump in there. First thing I'd like to do is send my condolences to the family of the late Honorable Vaughn Miller, who was a good friend of mine as well. So I'd be remiss if I didn't start out by publicly saying that, on the record, my fellow Lutheran. So my condolences to his family. But Shanique, this is simply a case of where supply meets demand. Like Ellington said, they're looking for likes, they're looking for popularity. Plenty of them also looking for money too, because they're getting paid. Okay, let's not forget that part now. These are hired guns, hired mercenaries, and hired assassins, armchair assassins, nameless, faceless, cowardly assassins, like Peggy said, right? But this is supply meeting demand. Now, Shanique, you've been a journalist for a long time, and you know, back in the day, when it came to communications, as far as politics is concerned, it was linear. It was one way. You listening to Z&S, you attending a rally, the message is getting out to you. It's just linear in one direction, right? Now, I believe politicians have realized that the power of social media is very robust.
And you know what, Howard, 1 second. How is it that we in the Bahamas are misusing social media? It is powerful. In fact, it is the tool to win any election nowadays. Donald Trump did it successfully. Andrew Holness did it successfully. But I did not see this level of anything happening, but with either men in their campaign. They used it to showcase and highlight, their message, their track record, and obviously what their vision is for their respective countries.
Well, see, Shanique, the thing about it is the negativity that's produced, right, by using social media. When people perceive that you are not speaking on behalf of them or their political party,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And you are threatening their ability to win the election.
Yes.
That is the reason why the attacks come front and center, because you're undermining. And guess what you're undermining? You're not undermining their political party because they want great policies, because they want a better Bahamas. You undermining their contracts.
Oops.
You're undermining the spoils. To the victor goes the spoils in politics.
Amen.
So that's what you're undermining. You're undermining their ability to engage in the spoils of the victory.
Yes.
But Shanique, we have to put these people on blast, even if they're nameless and they're faceless, because it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous because when they attack people and they put out these things and it go viral, we as Bahamians culturally, we like news and gossipy news.
Yes.
And we like when it's negative and nasty and terrible about people. And then when it goes viral and it happens and for a day or two, that's the only thing that's out there that everybody's talking about, that's top of everyone's timeline. But when it's proven to be false, you know what happens?
They just
absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Nobody
Nothing
makes
at
a
all.
retraction.
Nothing.
No
Nobody
retraction.
apologizes. And you know what they do?
And they go
just
to the next
slither away,
story.
slither away like a little snake until it's time to attack someone else.
That's all. The next
There's
victim.
no lesson learned. There's no lesson learned.
Shanique, and I support Howard's point of view 1,000%. I put it on my page several days ago. It is not about this country. It is not about the progress and the progression of these people, Bahamians. It is about your contract. It is about your board appointment. It is about the red license plate and all the other little perks it comes. I remember when I switched from one party to another, for 3 weeks, the effort was to say Peggy Candace lacks credibility, because I made a decision to go by what I'm persuaded is best for my country. And every effort, and so I asked the question to an individual on my page. I said, when I start lacking credibility, did I lack credibility 4 weeks ago when I was speaking highly of your leader? So everything I said previously should be reconsidered. All the comments and commentary that was complimentary to your leadership. So now, when did I start lacking credibility? And I will fight. You're not going to say anything demeaning of me, misleading of me, and outright lies of me without Peggy Candace challenging you at your level. And like I would say, and I agree, it is now a business in politics. You hire people who can cuss other people out. Yeah, you win. You could out cuss me. You could out vulgar me. You could out disrespect me. So I submit to you. I concede you are the victor in that fight. But when it comes to being honest, respectable, truthful, and my commentary, I stand out there. I'm proud of who I am. I am proud of that I do research. I am proud that I can speak well of anybody if it needs to be said. That politics does not control honesty when it comes to Peggy Candace. And there's a devil out there that hates this. Oh, she's a political prostitute. Oh, she cannot be trusted. Oh, she in it for what she can get. Oh, the bag must be reached. I took a picture with the Prime Minister at the government house. Oh, yeah, the payment in. Idiots.
So the things we do, and just to be hateful, to be disgusting, and to feel as though you can get someone exactly to cause them almost to just stumble over because of your words. But I'll tell you this, it doesn't do any of us favors. You said something about the photograph that I had asked Justin to put up at the top of the segment. There are accomplished men, each of them, extremely accomplished, not hurting at all, while the rest are scratching. No, not us. Hell no, not us. The rest of the majority of y'all scrapping, looking through dirt, like how chicken is picked through and try find something to eat, while they enjoying whatever it is they desire on any given day. And sitting and attending events together.
And they do it in the name of some of those same men in that picture. Oh, you are defending, you are protecting, you are justified in your, this is my leader. Idiot. food, for crumbs.
Shanique, I think I want to call out political leaders who have these persons on their team. You know what they do. I don't think you being silent excuse you.
No.
You are comparable if you allow people to call themselves that they are on your team and to do this, and you know and hear about it, and you not chastise them or you not denounced it.
We must really raise the level of our politics.
Absolutely.
That is what it is. We must make people smarter, and we must all aim higher as
it's detrimental to our development.
And obviously as political
And
leaders
then
as well. We've got to. We do politics too dumb. Would you say, Howard?
Shanique, this isn't anything new. I mean, everybody knows.
That's what I said. It's about time now we raise the level. Go ahead, Howard.
Everybody knows of the legendary personal relationship between former prime ministers Hubert Ingram and Perry Christie. So I don't know why everybody was up in an uproar when they saw this picture with Pintard sitting next to Brill. Now, I honestly don't think those two are as close as the two former prime ministers now. But I mean, this is legendary. When I ran in 2012, and I'm telling you what nobody think, there was fun-loving banter in my presence going on between Prime Minister Ingram and Prime Minister Christie on their cell phones.
Always.
I've seen this thing taking place, okay? They are the best of friends. But I want to say this, Shanique. I want to issue a word of caution to my fellow Bahamians as the consumers of information and data on social media, right? Here's the thing, Shanique. What they need to understand is this. Remember when we were in school? When we were in school, you had, in any given classroom, you had some smart people, you had a lot more average people, and you had some dunces. Remember, that's what they used to call them when we was young. Some dunce, fully dunce, right?
Yes.
Now, everybody on social media, however, because they have the power to mass communicate to hundreds and thousands at any given time,
yes,
they feel like they smart. Yeah. I want my fellow Bahamians to understand. Some of y'all in these groups who being led in by the admins and who following the information they put out, some of them are dunces.
Fully done.
Because social media is a microcosm of the classroom where a little bit of smart people, a lot more average people, and more dumb people. So y'all stay right there following up these dunces and letting them lead y'all astray from what the real message should be. And sad will continue to be our cry as we destroy our country.
In the words of the newly re-elected Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, fully dunce. Let's change that. Come on, now. We better than that in the Bahamas.
Let's build a better country.
We better.
Yeah,
we better than that. When we come back, here's a question for you as we go to the break. Think about this during the break. Is the DNA back?
Oops.
We're back right after this.
Jack, seen it.
Fly fishing for me is kind of a way of life. My father was one of the pioneers that started the fly fishing industry.
I grew up around the industry, but it was mostly spin fishing until the invention of the fly that changed the whole fly fishing industry as we know it today.
Well, fly fishing, in my opinion, is an art form that subscribes to artificially inducing a fish to take a lure.
It's fishing, but it's more like hunting than anything else.
So it is hunting, one aspect of it is, and the second of it is creating a lure that you are imitating that is of the environment.
You're actually stimulating the bite by them visually seeing the actual lure that you're sending to them.
Crazy Charlie is the fly that revolutionized, as we know, the saltwater fly fishing industry. It was invented by my father. He recalls seeing the bonefish chasing a little bait fish called a minnow. He took a couple chicken feathers and some bead eyes of a military tag, and that was the beginning of the advancement of saltwater fly fishing industry on the flats as we know it today. The importance of that fly allow you to be able to fish for bonefish in various depths of water.
Captain Rupert Lead, my dad, who's also a pioneer in the industry, his fly was called the gotcha fly, and it emulates two things, the minnows which is a small bait fish, and also a shrimp pattern. See, there's so many legends that I'm now standing on. Percy Darville, Ivan Nemo, who would have passed, Raymond Mackey, you've got Sidney Nemore, Carl Moxie. These guys were filled with knowledge. They were self-imposed scientists. They saw these fish act in a certain way, and they know how to target them on specific tides. I feel extremely proud to carry the baton on, knowing that I can actually teach other youngsters how to carry the mantra, and they themselves can pass it on to other generations.
Crack the code and win $1 million. Crack the code and win $1 million.
7 numbers, $1 million. Every 3 days, a number is revealed. Act fast, your million is waiting.
Crack that code, win $1 million clear.
Crack the code before the last lock clicks shut. Get ready to join the winner's circle only at islandluck.com.
Crack the code and win $1 million.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. 1 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Listen, let's get right into this segment. Is the Democratic National Alliance back in the race? Yeah, the 2026 general election race. The political party, which had earlier bowed out, citing high costs, has now declared it is returning to the front line of politics. The DNA was founded in 2011 and made its first mark in the 2012 general election, capturing 13,000 votes. That's about 8.4% of the popular vote, a rare achievement for a third party in the Bahamas. But over the years, the party has struggled to hold on to consistent leadership. Former founding leader Branville McCartney stepped down, followed by Arinthia Kumalafe, who broke ground as the first woman to lead a major political party. Internal divisions and resignations, however, left the organization fractured. Now, with the new declaration that the DNA is back by popular demand, hold on, right there, y'all, hold on right there. Y'all, hold on though. Where y'all heard the popular, Howard, maybe you heard it where you are. Did you hear calls for the DNA?
Shanique, I don't know where that came from, but I can tell you this. I believe that it is more than a mere coincidence that this has happened at a time when we have no less than an entire former prime minister sitting out there on the bench with no party.
Wait a minute.
And his wingman and one of his closest political allies happens to be the former leader of said political party that has recently reemerged.
Listen to me. Now, that wingman is a friend to the show and a friend of mine. And I kind of nudged him just before airtime. And I said, what you mean telling me? Nah, you know they ain't gonna never tell you anyways. But he said, Shanique, no, Shanique, it's no truth to that. But let me finish this, you all. So party officials said they plan to y'all just planning to regroup and send out a statement? They said they plan to regroup, reorganize, and re-energize a convention to elect new this is something, y'all. A convention to elect new officers is also in the works. The party says it will focus on fact-based solutions, greater activism, and stronger presence in the national debate. Their statement criticized government leaders for ignoring citizenship concerns, failing to curb crime and corruption, and not easing the cost of living. Still, whether the DNA can overcome it is the question. Listen, so you all, Howard, you already started talking. Jump back in.
Right. So here's another thing I want to say. Right. I found it very curious, right, and particularly interesting that in that press release, the information that was in quotes that was said by a human didn't have a name.
No.
Right?
No.
So clearly what it means is that the persons who are now at the forefront of the re-emergence of the DNA are not people who are known political commodities. This is just what I'm surmising now, I don't know for sure. And so what they're going to do at said convention, and as time goes by, they are going to invite persons of political stature and with political resumes to come in and take up those leadership positions and hopefully lead them into the promised land. So when your friend who's an ally of the show told you, Shanique, I don't know anything about that.
He doesn't.
That's because, he doesn't know anything about it because he needs an invitation maybe. Maybe an invitation is needed for the opportunity to be taken. So that's where I'll leave that.
Well, Shanique, there's another interesting picture circulating on social media, and I just received it saying the new DNA. And these are former members and leadership of the Free National Movement, individuals who did not receive a nomination or even an invitation.
Do you think that picture was mischief or you think there's something behind it?
Mischief, probably. Interesting, definitely. I see the former member of Parliament for Carmichael in that picture, and we know that he's also a close ally and friend of the former Prime Minister, Dr. Hubert Minnis. Now, for me, who loves interesting politics, will he be coming back to Carmichael? That would make it so delicious.
Wow, this some very interesting stuff, and that used to be your friend too, hey Peggy?
I still love him.
So, all right, so maybe that puts some serious questions that you may have to consider.
No, my decision is made.
On the face of it, the DNA to come back again, it will spell kind of a serious situation for COI and both political parties, because these two groupings will definitely be a spoiler. Which one they will be a spoiler for is yet to be determined. I heard the name of Mr. Minnis thrown in that. That would not be a good move for Mr. Minnis. I think Mr. Minnis is on the right path where he's at, and he just needs to stay that course and do what he's doing. So wait a minute,
when you say you mean Dr. Minnis?
Dr. Hubert Minnis,
you feel as though
Minister.
if, and we just listen, this is what a show does, a news show, speculate and form opinions and give opinions, just opinions. You're saying if somehow this resurrection of the DNA that we've seen this evening that was rolled out, if somehow he is invited, as Howard said...
He should not accept. It will be a
But
bad move.
but isn't, I mean, he is a strong, independent contender.
It will be a bad move for him to accept.
I don't know.
He put himself.
Peggy and Howard.
Shanique, I honestly think, given what Ellington just injected into the conversation, I honestly believe, just my opinion, like you say, what we do here on the show, I believe that the COI has more to lose by the DNA emerging and being able to, excuse me, recruit said persons of former political stature in major political organizations. When you throw around names like Granville McCartney, Desmond Bannister, Hubert Minnis, Renwood Wells, and scores of others who are just non-active right now, but maybe supporters of the former Prime Minister, Minnis, when you put those folks up and weigh them in the balance against Lincoln's people, and Lincoln is someone I know well. Lincoln is the one with the most political, who has the most political face, having been in major political parties before. They're not going to match up against the stature of those political persons who were cabinet ministers and MPs. Now, that dagger cuts both ways, and I'll end with this. It cut both ways, meaning that maybe there's political fatigue with those persons. They have been in the political arena for a long time, and Lincoln's crew might be the fresh new faces. But I personally believe Lincoln and the COI stands to lose if persons of that caliber do seek to come back through the DNA. That's just my opinion.
History has proven that the DNA has always affected the results and a negative for the Free National Movement, always. And since we're speculating, the DNA has said they were going to sit out financial. So where the money coming from now? Those people who I see on the pictures get money. Could be the finance.
We ain't bringing no new citizens with money. So are they splitting the financial support of a particular party or any particular party?
Yeah.
That's a question to be determined also.
Yeah. But the names that Mr. Howard called, Granville McCartney, Dr. Minnis, these are persons in the picture. I also saw the Cartwright gentleman.
Cartwright?
Yes, from Long Island.
Long Island, I saw him also, yes.
I saw he was there in that picture. He is in the picture. T. Desmond Bannister. All of these individuals, even if they...
Larry Cartwright,
yes.
Okay.
Even if they were to say yes, we're just speculating, that will further divide the Free National Movement, because each one of those individuals have loyal followers who will support them come hell or high water. And those loyal followers are of the Free National Movement. And so all I see is a victory, a sure victory for the progressive, second time around, for the progressive.
PLPs will vote PLP.
PLPs vote PLPs. And if the F&M support is split three ways, can you imagine the victory for the Progressive Liberal Party?
Well, listen, this is interesting. We're going to obviously watch that and see exactly when this convention happening, who was invited to do what and fill which role. And we can watch and obviously talk about it. So you all, listen, keep your chair pulled up or your phones in your palms because we can talk about this. Meanwhile, you all, Prime Minister Davis and other cabinet ministers touring various communities that have felt the brunt of Tropical Storm Imelda. Listen, you all, there's a place out west just beyond that sort of little makeshift hotel. Listen, you need a boat to actually get through, okay? Listen, those officials today got to see firsthand floodwaters, particularly in areas that are prone to flooding, prompting them to acknowledge the sense of urgency in rectifying the long-standing issue throughout New Providence.
As part of my tour of those areas most impacted by flooding, and to see how our response has been to these over excessive flooding areas. And I'm pleased to see that and hearing the names I've spoken to, that the efforts have been magnificent, that the the level of flooding has improved greatly. And days past, they said there have been days before we have caught where we are. And so I'm happy to have witnessed it myself. It also gives me the opportunity to see firsthand what the challenges are. So when we try to seek the solutions for these problems, I would have an idea of what people experience, so I could bring that to bear on the solution for the problems.
Many of them were stuck in homes. We had some persons that had to get parents to dialysis appointments, some persons needing to deal with other matters and trying to get out of their homes. They were stuck, so we had to reach out and find resources to try our best to clear as much as the water. We've been doing that from yesterday. We started the process. We managed to get a lot of the water off of the road so that persons can get out of their driveways, and also others will be able to function.
Well, listen, audience, so Desmond Bannister, former Deputy Prime Minister, just said, he sent a message. Y'all want to know what it says? I know you all want to know. Anyways, let's move on. So listen, there could be, this is important for Pinewood, there could also be light at the end of the tunnel for residents in Pinewood who have been grappling with flooding issues for decades. As Works Minister Clay Sweeting says, a plan has been devised and will be presented to the residents of Pinewood to weigh in.
Yes, the Ministry of Works has completed an overall plan for the Pinewood area. Actually, Friday evening, we should have a town hall meeting to discuss this expansive plan to help eradicate the flood-prone areas in Pinewood and areas that border those constituencies. So we've already completed that plan. We're going to bring it to the public for areas such as Coral Harbor, downtown New Providence, as well as the Pinewood and areas adjacent to that.
Now, you all, this is good news for Pinewood. We know that New Providence has an issue with flooding as it is, and it's been oversaturated because of the ongoing rains for weeks now. But your thoughts about how they're trying to just tackle Pinewood, who's really had to go through it for decades?
Can I, please?
Go.
Can you all put Carmichael, Fate Avenue South in the back there? I've had water up to my calf in my apartment from the storm. And where I live is like a lake, and it's happened even when we have hard rain. And so people have labeled Pinewood, but I'm now starting to believe in climate change, because I've been living in this area for 7-8 years, and I've seen the changes where the water tank, I had water spewing up through my tubs in my 2 bathrooms. Oh yeah, I video recorded it. I had water coming through the front and back door. And this is in Carmichael. This is in Carmichael. Me and my grandchildren was in one bed surrounded by water just pouring in. You understand? And so I think the list needs to be extended. We have to accept that it's not only Pinewood Gardens.
No, Nassau already is floods very easily.
Yes, and so I'm glad that it is being addressed. But I think we need to include more areas like Carmichael South.
And Shanique, I agree with Peggy. The entire Nassau is at sea level, right? And so that needs to be done. But what I want to go back to is the video, right? I can only account for what we see, the little sliver of what we saw. We saw, and a picture says 1,000 words, and a video says 1,000,000. All right, so let me preface what I'm going to say by saying that we saw Prime Minister Davis there. I saw what appeared to be no less than 15 to 20 people with him. And then I saw Jobette Colby Davis, right? They were all there. Let me tell you something. A year before a general election, and at something that is at crisis level like this, go on the camera, have on your boots, have a hose in your hand, have a bucket in your hand, be bailing water while you're talking to the media. This is what needs to be done. If you could use the word crisis and say it's a crisis, that this water and this flooding is going on in Nassau, and you standing in a foot of water, Prime Minister, have your bucket. Let it be known and make yourself seen to be helping, even if it's just a photo op. At the end of the day,
well, they had their. Well, I'll tell you. I think the photo op was the water boots or whatever they're called, storm boots, whatever that is. That each were wearing trekking through the, I don't know how deep the water was in Pinewood, but I listen, if they'll float away if they go to the one out west. I'll tell you that.
Let me see you with your bucket. Let me see you with your bucket.
But I don't know if they need the bucket, Howard.
My MP was right there. He didn't even have on boots. He looked like one of us.
Who's that? Who?
Keith Bell. Oh. He was on the ground. He was in the homes. He was going door to door, and he had on tennis.
Exactly.
My MP.
That's what you need.
Doing it.
Shanique, this issue we've heard in the last Minister administration, Minister Ruben Raming touted that money was allocated to the tune of some $2 million. This government now comes in for Pinewood, that is.
Oh, really?
Yes, absolutely. And so now we're seeing all these other flooded areas. Naturally, having the situation that we've had. Prior to this storm coming, we've had weeks of heavy rain, so the ground is already saturated.
Yes.
There's nowhere for water to go.
Month.
We are in a flat land. Here it is, a storm system come through now. It is natural for us to have this level of flooding. We've got to begin to look at putting culverts in certain area where water can flow, have pumps. We are flat land, so there's nowhere to pump it off to. We've got to create water tanks, storage tanks, that we can put this water in where we can use it for some other purposes later, but we must go to that level. Culverts in areas like Pinewoods, water can get in and flow and pump into some reservoir or some of that
Excellent
sort.
ideas, all of you. Thank you very much, Hot Topics panelists. Listen, you all are incredible, always opinionated, never short on words. That's them. And analytical and spot on with their views and opinions on all of the day's top stories and trending topics as well. I thank you all so much, Peggy, Candace, Ellington, Ferguson, Howard Johnson. Thank you. Of course, at the top of tonight's show, Picewell Forbes. Thank you so much for joining us as well. And to all of you tuning in this evening, thank you for tuning in. Certainly enjoyed having you along. Desmond Bannister, Branville McCartney. Hey,